The reason behind why you are alone can often feel elusive, hidden beneath layers of personal experience and circumstance. Loneliness is something many of us face, but its root causes can vary from person to person. Whether you recognize it or not, there are often deeper factors at play that influence why you feel isolated. Today, we'll look into the core reasons that may be contributing to this feeling of solitude. Understanding these factors is the first step to shifting the narrative and potentially changing the situation. One of the primary reasons you may feel alone is the level of self-awareness you possess and how it impacts your relationships. Self-awareness is the ability to see yourself clearly, understanding your emotions, actions, and the way you interact with others. When you lack this awareness, it becomes difficult to recognize the role you play in your relationships. You may unintentionally push people away, fail to nurture connections, or create emotional distance without fully realizing it. While we focus on personal growth, it's important to remember that self-development can sometimes lead to a sense of isolation. Growing as an individual often requires deep introspection and self-work, which can consume much of your time and energy. As a result, you may find yourself withdrawing from others, either consciously or subconsciously, to focus on your personal evolution. This isolation may not always feel lonely at first, but over time, the lack of regular interaction with others can contribute to a sense of detachment and solitude. It's crucial to recognize how these periods of self-focus might be affecting your connections. While personal growth is beneficial, it doesn't have to come at the cost of relationships. A balance needs to be struck between investing in yourself and maintaining meaningful bonds with the people around you. Without this balance, personal growth can sometimes become a factor in your loneliness. Another significant factor that may explain why you are alone is the fear of vulnerability. Vulnerability is about being open and honest with others, allowing yourself to be seen as you truly are. Many people find it difficult to let down their emotional defenses, often due to the fear of being judged, hurt, or rejected. This fear creates a barrier between you and others, preventing genuine connection. When you are afraid to be vulnerable, you may avoid sharing your true thoughts and feelings with others, keeping conversations superficial and impersonal. This lack of depth can make it difficult to form close relationships, leaving you feeling disconnected even when you are surrounded by people. Emotional walls, while they may feel protective, also isolate you from meaningful interaction. The fear of vulnerability often stems from past experiences. If you've been hurt or let down in the past, it's natural to build up defenses to protect yourself from further pain. But these defenses can become a prison, trapping you in solitude. Without the willingness to take emotional risks, it becomes difficult to build trust with others, which is essential for forming strong, lasting relationships. Overcoming the fear of vulnerability requires patience and self-compassion. It's about understanding that allowing yourself to be open doesn't guarantee pain, it creates the opportunity for deeper connection. By slowly lowering your emotional barriers, you can start to invite more meaningful relationships into your life, reducing the feelings of isolation. A common reason why many find themselves alone is the tendency to set high expectations or idealize potential relationships. When you have a very specific or elevated standard of what a relationship or friendship should look like, it can lead to disappointment. This isn't to say that having standards is wrong, but when those expectations are unrealistic, it becomes difficult to appreciate the reality of people and relationships as they are. Idealizing someone or expecting perfection often leads to dissatisfaction. When the people you interact with don't meet your imagined version of what a relationship should be, it's easy to withdraw. This withdrawal, however, can be damaging. It prevents you from truly engaging with others, as you're constantly comparing them to an ideal that doesn't exist. Over time, this habit can lead to isolation, as it becomes increasingly difficult to find satisfaction in any connection. Understanding that no relationship is perfect and no person can live up to an idealized version is crucial. Real connections are built on accepting others as they are, flaws and all. When you learn to adjust your expectations, you create space for authentic relationships. This shift doesn't mean lowering your standards, but it does mean letting go of the notion that perfection exists. Doing so allows you to form connections that are based on reality, not unattainable ideals. Another key factor that may contribute to why you are alone lies in your social skills and communication abilities. Communication is at the core of every relationship, and the way you express yourself, both verbally and non-verbally, plays a crucial role in how others perceive and interact with you. If you find it difficult to communicate clearly, misunderstandings can arise, and this can create distance between you and others. Poor communication doesn't just refer to the words you use, but also how you listen. Failing to actively listen or show genuine interest in what others have to say can make it hard to maintain relationships. This lack of engagement might lead people to feel disconnected from you, further contributing to your sense of isolation. In addition to communication, social skills such as reading social cues, understanding boundaries, and being aware of body language are vital in building and maintaining relationships. If these skills are underdeveloped, you may find it challenging to connect with others. Some people may misinterpret your intentions, or you may struggle to interpret theirs, creating barriers to connection. Improving these skills requires practice and mindfulness. Becoming more aware of how you communicate and actively working on improving how you interact with others can make a significant difference in your relationships. By refining these skills, you can help bridge the gap between yourself and others, allowing for more meaningful and lasting connections, which, in turn, reduces feelings of loneliness. Another significant reason you may feel alone is tied to past traumas and rejections. These painful experiences can deeply impact how you approach relationships, often making you more guarded or hesitant to connect with others. When you have been hurt in the past, especially by people close to you, it's natural to develop a sense of caution. This caution, while understandable, can sometimes turn into a form of emotional distance that keeps you isolated. Rejection, whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or even family dynamics, can leave lasting emotional scars. The fear of experiencing that rejection again may cause you to avoid putting yourself out there. Over time, this avoidance becomes a habit, and without realizing it, you may withdraw from opportunities to form new connections. It's a protective mechanism, but it can also become a barrier that leaves you feeling alone. Healing from these experiences is essential to moving forward and building new relationships. It involves acknowledging the impact of these past events, but also recognizing that not every interaction will lead to the same outcome. By being open to new possibilities, while still maintaining healthy boundaries, you can begin to let go of the fear that keeps you isolated. This is a gradual process, but it is a necessary step in overcoming the feelings of loneliness that past traumas and rejections may have created. Your lifestyle choices also play a significant role in why you may find yourself alone. The way you choose to spend your time, the habits you maintain, and the priorities you set all influence your ability to connect with others. Often, isolation is not just a result of emotional factors, but practical ones too. For example, if you consistently prioritize work or personal projects over social interaction, you may unintentionally create a distance between yourself and others. While dedication to your goals is important, balance is equally essential. If your lifestyle is heavily focused on individual pursuits, it's easy to fall into a pattern of isolation where social connections are neglected. In some cases, lifestyle habits such as spending excessive time in solitary activities, avoiding social settings, or not engaging in group activities can further deepen your sense of loneliness. Even though these habits might feel comfortable, they can limit your exposure to new people and experiences, both of which are essential for building relationships. Recognizing how your choices affect your social life is the first step toward change. Small adjustments like allocating time for social interactions or being more open to social invitations can help create opportunities for connection. By balancing your personal ambitions with social activities, you can gradually reduce feelings of loneliness and build a more connected life. In today's world, the rise of digital communication has changed the way we interact, but it may also contribute to why you feel alone. While online platforms allow for instant communication, they often lack the depth and emotional connection that comes from face-to-face interactions. Texting or interacting through social media can create a sense of connection, but it may not fully satisfy the need for meaningful relationships. Digital communication can sometimes give the illusion of closeness, but without genuine interaction, these relationships may feel superficial. The lack of nonverbal cues, such as body language or tone of voice, can make it difficult to form deep emotional bonds. Relying heavily on online interactions can prevent you from building real-life connections, which are essential for emotional fulfillment. Over time, this reliance on digital communication can lead to feelings of isolation, even if you are frequently interacting with people online. The key is to find a balance between digital communication and real-life interactions. While online platforms can be useful for staying in touch, making an effort to engage in face-to-face conversations and activities can help you build stronger, more fulfilling relationships. Real connection often requires presence, emotional engagement, and shared experiences, which are difficult to replicate in a digital environment. Another reason you may feel alone is the fine line between self-sufficiency and isolation. Being independent and self-reliant is often seen as a strength, but there is a difference between healthy independence and shutting others out. When you place too much emphasis on handling everything on your own, it can unintentionally create distance between you and others. While it's important to be self-sufficient, relying solely on yourself for emotional support and companionship can lead to a sense of isolation. It's easy to fall into the mindset that you don't need others, but this often results in missing out on the benefits of human connection. Relationships provide support, perspective, and emotional warmth, things that self-reliance cannot fully replace. Recognizing when independence turns into isolation is key. You can still value self-sufficiency while being open to forming connections and accepting help when needed. Allowing others into your life doesn't make you any less capable, rather it enhances your ability to connect and share meaningful experiences. By striking a balance between independence and connection, you can prevent feelings of loneliness from creeping in while maintaining your sense of autonomy. Life changes, whether expected or not, can be a major reason why you feel alone. Moving to a new city, changing jobs, or experiencing significant life events such as the end of a relationship or the loss of a loved one can disrupt your social environment. These changes often break the existing social bonds you've formed over time, leaving you without the support or companionship you once had. When your environment changes, it's easy to feel disconnected or out of place. Familiar routines are altered, and the people you relied on for connection may no longer be as accessible. This can lead to a sense of isolation, as building new relationships in an unfamiliar setting takes time and effort. Even though these circumstances are a natural part of life, the sudden shift can make you feel more alone than you were before. Whether it's joining social groups, engaging with colleagues, or simply being open to new experiences, gradually integrating yourself into your new environment can help alleviate feelings of loneliness. The key is to recognize that life changes are temporary, and with time, new connections can be formed. Once you've identified the reasons behind your loneliness, it becomes possible to take actionable steps toward overcoming it.
While the causes of isolation can vary, there are practical methods that can help you break the cycle of feeling alone.
The first step is to be mindful of how your habits, behaviors, and fears may contribute to your situation. Awareness is essential, as it allows you to address the root causes rather than the symptoms of loneliness. Start by making an effort to engage with others, even in small ways. Whether it's reaching out to someone for a conversation, participating in group activities, or simply being more present in social interactions, these small actions can help create opportunities for connection. It's also important to challenge any limiting beliefs or fears that may be holding you back, such as the fear of vulnerability or past rejections. Another useful step is to focus on building a routine that includes both personal time and social interaction. Prioritizing time for meaningful activities with others can prevent you from becoming too isolated in your daily life. It's also helpful to explore hobbies or interests that allow you to meet new people who share similar passions, as this can naturally foster new relationships. Ultimately, overcoming loneliness is about taking proactive steps and being open to forming deeper, more meaningful connections. While it may take time, the effort you put into building relationships will lead to a greater sense of belonging and emotional fulfillment. Understanding the reasons behind why you feel alone is the first step toward making meaningful changes in your life. Everyone experiences loneliness at some point, but by addressing the root causes, you can work toward creating relationships that bring you genuine companionship and support. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to like the video, share it with others who may benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more insights. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment below. Let us know how you've overcome feelings of loneliness, or if you have any questions. Your feedback helps us create more content that resonates with you. Thank you for watching.